Its waters are deep enough for the largest vessels of war.
Once General Schofield and the American military began to think of Pearl Harbor as a place that they could call their own, the idea of annexation of Hawaii to America became much more interesting to the American Congress. Hawaiians at that time were greatly upset by this.
There is a feeling of bitterness against these rude people who dwell upon our land and have high-handed ideas of giving away somebody else's property as if it was theirs. My blood boils with resentment against this insult.
Harper's Weekly, December 26, 1874. King David Kalakaua, who is now on a visit to this country, is a man of good education, determined to preserve the independence of the islands over which he rules.
When Kalakaua went to Washington, D.C. to negotiate the Treaty of Reciprocity, he caused quite a stir because he was very gracious, handsome. He addressed the Congress.
Although well-disposed toward Americans, Kalakaua was strongly opposed to the cession of Pearl Harbor to this country for use as a naval station.
The Reciprocity Treaty is signed, and immediately after that, sugar exports to the United States increase astronomically. The number of sugar plantations soar and increase the demand for labor.
Immigrants flooded into Hawaii, and between 1877 and 1890, there is an increase of immigrants to 55,000 new immigrants, a 33% increase. At the same time, the native population, because of disease and dispossession, continues its downward decline.
It is a question of only a few generations before the Hawaiians will be only a memory.
I believe that if I shall make the main object of my reign the increase of the nation, there may be secured both the stability of the government and the national independence.
So Kalakaua's motto was Ho'olula Hui, that is, to increase, to invigorate, proliferate the Hawaiian people. Of course, he revived our chant, our dance, our hula, our religious practices, and our traditional medical practices.
A retrograde step of heathenism and a disgrace to the age.
Kalakaua believed that in order to maintain Hawaiian independence, Hawaii had to project a strong image abroad. And so Kalakaua spent a lot of his administration in the years that he was king really trying to project that image. He tried to sign an Asian Federation treaty with the emperor in Japan. He tried to sign a Polynesian Federation treaty with Malietoa in Samoa. He did what he could to tell other people in the world that Hawaii was a force to be reckoned with.
The little kingdom occupies an honored position in the family of nations, having treaty relations with all the commercial nations of the earth, and being a member of the Universal Postal Union with a representative in the Congress at Geneva. The standard of intelligence among the native Hawaiians is higher than that in any other nation in the world, illiteracy being practically unknown.
By this time, many Hawaiians had learned the haole system. They could understand and were educated in that system. By bringing them into the government, Kalakaua earned the wrath of the missionary gang.
It is best to speak plainly. It is not a question of race, but of fitness. Let the native qualify himself for high office.
It wasn't that the Haoles were afraid that their expertise was not needed. It was that they were afraid that their influence was on the wane.
I do solemnly promise upon my honor that I will keep secret the existence and purposes of this league to protect the white community of this kingdom.
The Hawaiian League is essentially a group of white Americans who want annexation. And they have a little subgroup called the Honolulu Rifles.
This organization came to number some 400 men, really the most disciplined and powerful armed force in Honolulu.
And they, together with Lawrence Thurston, the most vociferous annexationist leader, decide that they are going to promulgate a new constitution and force it on Kalakaua, essentially at gunpoint. This constitution, which has come to be known by Hawaiians rightly so as the Bayonet Constitution, essentially, in one fell swoop, disenfranchises Hawaiians of political power. This constitution allowed all foreigners the right to vote if they had money. And because of the property qualification for voting, it took power away from the common Hawaiian, who was generally landless, who was generally without money, who could not meet the property qualifications.